Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be doing a deck profile for Spirit Charmer Kings. It's a really cool deck that someone showed me on the live stream and I got wrecked by it, and I think this is the best build of Spirit Charmers that I can think of at the moment, and it's a really cool unique deck that I think is a rogue deck. It's relatively inexpensive, so it's pretty budget friendly. Obviously you don't need some of the cards in the extra deck, but you know, the more you have, the more it'll help. But this deck is actually pretty cool because it has a lot of utility just to get a lot of free advantage in the game without thinking too hard. Most of the plays in this deck are relatively simple too. So if you like simple, easy concept decks, this is definitely one for you. If you're just hearing that deck, the link will be down below in that description box for the Dropbox download link. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into the deck, and I'll explain the choices as we go along. So first off, we have two copies of Fire King High Avatar Garunix. So it works really well with the Archfiend Eater, or the Nefarious Archfiend Eater of Nefariousness. Basically in this deck, this is kind of like the heart and soul of the deck actually. The card Unpossessed is the TCG name of this card over here. This plus Archfiend Eater, I'm just going to call it Archfiend Eater because the TCG name is Nefarious Archfiend Eater. Nefariousness is just it's too long to say, so Archfiend Eater plus the Unpossessed card over here. Just what so well in combination with each other. Basically, during the end phase, this card comes back, it lets you pop a monster, and then you get a different Spirit Charmer out, which, you have a bunch of them to cycle through. But it works really well with Garunix, in addition to that, because Garunix lets you, blow up everything on board when you go ahead and destroy it. So I like that concept of the deck, and this also just keeps on coming back just for free monsters also. Almost like it's like the Tree One Frog, but again, remember, you do have to pop something for that. But it can still special summon itself as long as you control a spellcaster type monster, so it works really well with the deck. Next up, I'm playing two copies of each of the familiar possessed cards, so 2 Hita, 2 of the Dark, 2 of the Wind, 2 of the Asa, 2 of the Era, 2 Yakshas, which is a little bit different. Then I'm playing 2 copies of Gigabite, which is the other card. Inari is also another card. Let me show you this card real quick. If you really just wanted the fire monster, because I tried to make it like specifically towards one element. I was like, well, I can throw in Tengus, and I was thinking I can make it with wind, but it just kind of lost some of the consistency, and like drawing multiple Tengus, I really think it sucks. But it is just part of the game. But you can make it towards one element if you want to. There is one card where if you banish like a wind, a fire, a water, an earth, and then you get to select one card on the field, and then you return it to the deck. It's an okay, or it shuffles back into the deck, I believe is the wording on it. But I feel like this is just more kind of a consistent build. If you really want to, you can throw in, the extra darks or something like that. Gigabite is basically the same as Inari Fire. It's just that you can only control one of them. If you control a spellcaster, you can spell summon it. I find this card to be enough. Then I just threw in 2 Gigabites because he's my favorite. I like the Go Gigagagus, or the what are they called? This card's also on my body shield. That's the main reason why I was like, well, I'll go for him over Inari. You can do 1/1 if you want. It doesn't really matter to me which one you play, because they both have the same attack and defense anyways. It's just you can't special summon the same copy of itself, but I mean, more than likely you're going to be doing a Spirit Charmer anyways, so you can mix it up. Basically they're the same anyways. Then we're playing 3 copies of the Archfiend Eater. This card is just, it's part of the deck, and it works so well with this card over here, because this card, what's really awesome with it, it's just that all Charmer monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. If a familiar possessed monster attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack during damage calc, and if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon any of the Spirit Charmers essentially from the deck. Basically, you just can't get out the Fire Kings in the deck. And then in face-up attack position or face-down defense position, you basically want them to be in face-up attack position because, they can't be destroyed by battle, and on top of that, they don't have bad attack. And they all become 2650 essentially, so I'm like, you know what, Skill Drain is a fantastic card because it helps against the Necros matchup. That's why there's also these, which we'll get into later. But for the most part, this card just works so well with this card over here. They work so well because it's really easy to understand the concept. Also, what is very good in this deck is Archfiend Eater is also a beast, so that works well with Diamond Direwolf. Diamond Direwolf will also trigger this. Anything essentially will trigger this that basically destroys. It doesn't have to be by your opponent's card effect, so any way that the monster is essentially going away other than being bounced back or absorbed or something, or snatched, stolen, yeah, basically you're just going to get free monsters, and I love it. During the end phase of your opponent's turn, you get to not only bring back a monster, you destroy your own, but it doesn't really matter because most of the stuff you get free advantage with anyways, and if you have this, then you're pretty much good to go. But yeah, this card is just fantastic. If you wanted to, I was trying Mathematician, but I really liked the normal summon in the deck, so I was like, well, if we use Mathematician for a normal summon, sure, we get that extra draw, but I don't get that, familiar on board, and I can't use the possession release, because this was actually someone else's, it's similar to someone else's build, but I made it a little bit more meta. but or to my liking at least. And then Grand Mole is a really great addition also to the deck because it deals with Dark Law, because Heroes just got really popular for I don't know what reason, but also it really helps against the Necros matchup, which is basically you can't special summon, and this deck kind of needs to special summon. The reason why is because the Trishula card over here has 2700 attack, and you're just 50 short. And I was like, well, at one point I was like playing multiple lances in here. I'm like, you know what, that's not too effective. I'd rather just go ahead and have like a Grand Mole, and Smashing Ground is already really good in the deck. I also decided to drop Vanities because basically, I want to get my monsters out, and I've had Skill Drain. I was like, well, Skill Drain and Vanities almost do the same thing against certain decks anyways. If you're locking them out of special summoning, some decks just, you know, like, for example, like a Synchro base deck, they need the Junk Synchro normal summon. So, like, you Skill Drain them, they can also be hurt really bad by that. Especially if they're using multiple cards, bring out one card, and you're just going to go ahead and be like, oh, you know what, don't worry about Diamond Direwolf or Onslaught next turn. It's all good, because remember that this effect, the special summon itself is obviously from the graveyard. It won't have its effect to blow up, but it's still 27, so it's kind of nice anyways. Next up, playing 2 of the Onslaught of the Fire Kings. This card is good because it gives you an additional summon, because in this deck, once you go for your summon, if they, you know, Solemn Warning, Compulse, you really don't have any other answers to it. Obviously, the things like Torrential and stuff like that, you know, Possession Release is there, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But I also just like this card because it helps against Shaddoll's. The Soul Charge is self-explanatory. It's a rank 4 deck, and bring out a whole bunch of stuff, win for like no reason. Next up, 3 Smashing Ground. This is really popular now. A lot of decks are main decking multiple copies of this, because in this deck you generally don't have any special summons other than like the Gigabite or the Inari Fire or the Archfiend Eaters. There's not anything that your opponent can really chain to really make too much use of like Vanity's Emptiness. So just being able to get rid of your opponent's monster, you know, will also get rid of Vanity's Emptiness. So I was like, I'd rather just play 3 Smashing Ground. The OCG has also been favoring this card because it deals with this. This just has too much attack for this specific deck to deal with. If this had 2600, then I wouldn't even really care too much about it, because this card plus any of the Spirit Charmers can already run over Trishula. So that's why I was like, well, Smashing Ground is just a fantastic card also. Because you really do need this effect, or you need this card as soon as possible. That's why there's supply units, that's why there's the dualities, and that's why I'm playing 3 copies of it. It's just so good of a card not to have. And if you open up with this card, you usually have a higher chance of winning. Next up, I'm playing 1 MST, 1 Lance. If you really want to, you can go double MST. It's totally up to you. I just really like the 1 Lance in a lot of different decks. Next up, I play 1 Circle of the Fire Kings. I like this because if they try to target my Grunix, I blow it up and then I get something else. I love that effect, and also that it is quick play, so if I happen to need to push for game, you know, I can attack with this, activate this, get a different card out and attack for game. So I like it for that aspect too. Next up, I'm playing 2 Supply Squad. I was thinking about playing 3. You can definitely play in 3, but I really didn't have any other card that I really wanted to take out. But if you want to, you can go ahead and play 3. You can play 41 cards. But this card is really good because not only are you going to be, you know, destroying your own cards, so free draws, but this card comes back all the time. And if anything gets destroyed, you get a draw, you get a special, you get free cards, you get to blow up their field. Like, this card is just, it's so awesome to play. I would really wish I just knew what card I want to take out, but I like everything in this deck so far through all the playlist testing that I have been doing. And I'll get some more footage for you guys. This is just like hot off the press, basically, after live streaming. I decided to mess with the deck a little bit more, and I got it to the way I liked it. Snatch Steal, because I think this card is stupid. You guys all know I was super salty. I made a first Congruenix, and someone goes Snatch Steal BLS, and they throw out like 10 monsters. Like, I'm done, man. This card, it should not be legal, but it is, and I really hate it, but it's in the game. Next up, 3 Possession Release. This basically shuts down any bad hand. I mean, you could just have like the worst hand. As long as you have a monster that can be destroyed, you're basically good to go. And then, you know, if you have Supply Squads, you're good to go. Like, you can open up bad, but as long as you open up with this and any monster, you're good to go. And then 2 Skill Drains. Again, you could swap out the Skill Drain for Vanities if you want to, but because I felt like Skill Drain works really well in the deck because you can kind of run it like a beatdown deck, I was like, well, I was thinking at one point of just doing 1-1. It's totally up to you. I think this is totally open to whatever you guys you know, want to do. But there are certain decks where if you activate Vanities, you instantly win the game. Like, for example, the Naklos, if you activate this, they can lose. The Gishkis can lose. So many decks can lose to a Vanities Emptiness or a Skill Drain. So whatever ratio you prefer, we'll just leave it 2-1. This, like I said, it's totally up to you on these last 2 cards. I highly recommend either one of these. You could do double of either. If you want, maybe drop Smashing Ground. I just find it really beneficial to have Smashing Grounds because Unicore is at 1 in the OCG, and some players have been playing the OCG list. of the Necros. Once you get rid of, like, some of them usually play like 2 Trish. If you get rid of both Trishes, you're basically good to go, like you're golden. But when they have it so you can't special summon, it does definitely slow down your deck because you can't stay alive because this card is going to just keep on pushing for 27 and you can only answer with one of your monsters. So it's like you're setting, you know, once per turn just to kind of block. So I like Smashing Ground for that aspect, but it's totally up to you on the ratios that you want to play. As far as the extra deck, I'm basically running one of like all the good rank 4s. Like I said, I would say this is technically a budget deck. You don't have to have 106, but if you're playing online, why not try it out? It's a decent card too. Then we have Dark Rebellion, Utopia randomly here because I originally wanted to have BLS in here. It was like a really easy light to go for that wasn't this card because this card doesn't have too good of attack. And randomly sometimes this card can help. You never know. Then I have Ragnar Zero, which is one of my favorite, Tiger King. It's not too useful in the deck, but, you know, it does negate everything on board. I'm like, you know, in the off chance that I can make this, you know, in the right scenario, because it requires 2 level 4 Beast Warriors, and then there you go for the Beast Warriors. Everything else is pretty much the spellcasters. But yeah, if you're able to just make it, you know, in the right situation, it can definitely help out. Then I put Black Ship of Corn, the 101, then number 82, then 1 Castell, 2 of the Diamond Direwolf, 1 Lightning Chidori, Excited Knight, Dweller, and I do like 2 Cowboys, so if you want to drop the Dweller for 2 Cowboys, I can recommend that as well. One thing that is very important is have 2 Diamond Direwolf. This is very key in the deck because you trigger this, you can trigger this, you can blow up this, which you got for free anyways, that got you free advantage, and also it can tribute, or not tribute, it's you target 1 Beast Warrior and then you control, and then 1 other criminal and you destroy both of them, so this will trigger this. So I like that. This card is just fantastic in the deck. Free advantage is always good in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though some formats don't favor it. Definitely just getting free cards is never a bad thing, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, that's it for the deck profile. If you guys have any suggestions for it, I'd love to hear them in the comment section below. If you guys want to see other builds, let me know, and I'll get some more gameplay for you guys. Actually, probably I'll upload some gameplay. By the time you guys see this, there's probably some gameplay already uploaded ready for you guys. And of course, download the Dropbox links. Download the deck in the link in the description box. Man, getting tongue twisted over here, but yeah, it's a really cool deck, and like I said, it's budget friendly, kind of a rogue anti-meta deck, and if you want to, you can drop the Smashing Grounds. But the main reason why I have this card, guys, is because everyone is playing Necros, and it really helps deal with that Necros matchup, especially if they're only playing the 1 copy unit card, because some players are just kind of anticipating cards to get hit, so they play the deck a certain way. But if, you know, they're playing 3 unit core, then it's not as great, I'll be honest, but it definitely just helps deal with the bigger beaters in the game. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Azneyeswhitedragon signing out.